Vicious is a 2025 psychological horror film starring Dakota Fanning and is written and directed by Brian Bertino and tells the story of Polly, a woman who receives a mysterious box from a late night visitor with one rule. She must put inside it something she loves, something she hates, and something she needs. After she opens it, strange and unexplainable things begin to happen, and reality starts to twist in ways that make her question whether what she's seeing is real or a reflection of her own guilt. Now, right off the bat, I'll say Vicious isn't your average jump scare horror film. It's quite deliberate and deeply psychological. The movie takes its time setting up the atmosphere where everything feels slightly off. I mean, that's one of the main things I noticed about this movie that I actually do like. I mean, even before the horror fully starts, it kind of reminded me of like The Evil Dead and Smile in its tone, except this one leans more into the emotional side of fear rather than a straight up horror or gore. But it does have some shocking moments in the film that make you question, like, oh my God, but it's not quite there. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But I think the true highlight of this film is Dakota Fanning. I think she's fantastic in this film, and watching her just reminded me of how talented she was, or should I say is, especially, you know, knowing that she's a phenomenal actress when she was a child, and even now she's still really great. And I feel like, why isn't Hollywood utilizing her more? The last film she was in was like The Watchers, I believe. It came out last year, and I tried to get into it, but I just kept falling asleep because the film was just so boring. So the last real thing I remember her in was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought she was great in that scene with Brad Pitt. Like, you felt the tension and you felt unnerving, like what was she gonna do? And then she just lets him in. In this film, it's another film that's dedicated basically to her performance. That's the best part of the movie, is her. She's solo for the majority of the film, and she just drives the film home. Like, without her, I don't think another actress could have excelled or kept you entertained or along for this ride like she did. If it was somebody else, I don't think it would have worked. But like I stated, it reminded me of Evil Dead, but only in the sense of, like, Evil Dead is this book where these people go to a cabin, they find a Necronomicon, a book, and they read some pages from it, and demonic entities or deadites manifest and try to come and kill the people that are in the cabin and take over. And that's the only thing that it kind of, some elements of this reminded me of it, and that's technically the box, but it just doesn't deliver in the way Evil Dead does. So like this film, the box is kind of like the Necronomicon, but it's bestowed upon Polly. She doesn't find it, and once it's already bestowed upon her, everything starts to happen. All these strange things start to occur. The only problem is nothing as good as what happens in Evil Dead, the original, or the sequels, or any of the Evil Dead films happen in this film. Like, there's no good gore, there's some good shocking moments in it, but this film focuses more on the psychological, disturbing horror that Polly has to go through. You know, there's some gruesome moments, as I said, but the film's missing that extra push to truly put it in that amazing category for me. Like, I feel like at times that this movie wanted to be Evil Dead or even Hellraiser, like those types of movies, but they didn't go in that complete direction. Like, I feel like Polly should have been more tormented and more traumatized, and more crazy things should have been happening to her than actually were. But like I said, Dakota Fanning's performance and the film's atmosphere and the cinematography really do stand out and give it this tone that makes me feel eerie and enjoy this film. I'll say another standout actress in this movie, I don't know her name, I didn't look her up. She's the old lady that gives the box to Polly, and I think she's fantastic in this film. There's also another black lady that there's a cool scene with her in it later on, like a neighbor. I thought that was cool too. So this movie has some elements that I do actually enjoy and I do like, but it just could have been so much better. It's like something was missing. Like I said, what carries the film for me is Dakota Fanning's performance. I think she's amazing. The casting of the old lady, the director's tone and atmosphere, the cinematography of the film, but it could have been more. Like later on, there's another character that Polly ends up giving. I don't want to spoil anything. So something happens later on, and that character you find out something about that character, and you're like, wow, I wanted to see that. I like this film. I don't think this movie's for everybody. That's why I'm going to give this movie 2.5 out of 5 stars. Now, I know you're saying, but wait a second, you said you really like this movie. And I do, but I really don't think this is for everybody. And I feel like some people are going to have a problem with some of the things. One of the main problems I do have with the movie is what I have a problem with a lot of other films lately. It's like which some people like, is not explaining things. I like it sometimes, and sometimes I dislike it. In this film, we don't get a sense of where this box comes from. It's just supernatural, and we just leave it at that. And the same thing happens for the movie Weapons, where I understand it's black magic, but what kind of black magic? For me, I want to know that. And also, I didn't think it was going to be just so blatant that that's exactly what it was in that film, because we kept getting this parasite thing, and we're like wondering if they keep mentioning parasites. Does she have a parasite in her blood because she has to use her blood? Is that why that's being affected, or is it just the straight up black magic? I get it. It was just black magic. I understand that. I also like to know what kind. There's a lot of different types of black magic. But anyway, whatever. This film, we don't know where this box came from. And I guess there's no need to. I'm from another time where everything's explained or over-explained to us. Like the whole intro to Hellraiser, where we see this. We don't know where the box came from, but we know what it does. In this, we don't really know what it does besides it just tortures people. But again, I like it. So for me, I would give it a higher score. But for everybody else, I think this is probably a 2.5 out of 5-star movie. I also don't like Dakota Fanning's tattoos all over her. And I hope to God those aren't real and that's just for the character. I was wondering why I was watching this. Why is she in this? Because I'm like, why is she in this? But without her in it, I don't think this movie would have been as enjoyable, as I said. So I think she's good. I think the director could have worked on I don't know. It's more about the internal drama and psychology of this character, Polly, than anything else, in my opinion. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my review for it. If you want to see the whole film, you should check it out. It's streaming on Paramount Plus. Yeah. Anyway, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.